Okay, it is September 26th. It's almost 7 o'clock in the evening. It's 6:39. And if you're wondering about the previous video, the way I started it, and it might have not really made sense because I was implying that I was recording more videos that day. Through the rest of September 24th and 25th, I recorded multiple hours worth of videos, and it's not working. I can't seem to get it onto the computer. I have no idea what's going on. And then today I finalized everything, and it's not working. So let's just try it one last time, but different. Okay, I'm gonna try it differently because I think I've contaminated my vision. Okay, and what I mean by that is because I'm starting to wonder what it is. So I'm theorizing myself. And in order to really have the most accurate vision, I need to detach from it, right? And if a story creates itself, then that story needs to be unbiased. And that story needs to be that's the way I can get as accurate as possible. And if I'm not getting an accurate information, or like an accurate storyline, then I need to just tell you like the portions that I'm seeing. And through this repetition and through all of this, I've been trying to piece together everything that I am learning from other visions that I've had. And then that's contamination number one. I'm starting to compile everything that I know, and I am beginning to learn into this particular global prediction. And then number two, I did not realize that volcano, that people were inhabiting that area, and that particular volcano could affect the rest of the world. Okay, so just to be clear on that, it sounds like it. Now that I looked it up today and last night. I don't know, okay? I genuinely do not know what this event is. How it's not just one particular event, it's a rolling of events, it's an increase of events, and I'm actually behind on it. Okay, I had this vision months ago. Okay, I want to say it was August, but it could have been like towards the end of July. I can't even remember at this time. It was before, actually, I guess it was before, right? Because August was when that hurricane was, right? So that's what it would have been. I think the end of July, I started getting some information about what I'm attributing to this secondary vision, okay? Then the secondary one is the one that I'm sharing. So where do I go from here? Did I talk about in the videos? Did I talk about the whistleblower? I don't know if I did. I don't think I did. So I'm just gonna state this information and then leave it at that. I'm gonna try and like leave my theories out of it, and in due time, if I feel compelled to share that with you guys, then I will. Okay, so where did I leave off? I don't know where I left off. I don't know what I said in those other videos at this point. So let's go with this. Okay, let's go with, okay, so we have, I remember there was an observation, people observing some sort of event, and I can't distinguish how many events I'm getting, right? So what I also see is a whistleblower, a potential whistleblower within the systems of the people who are controlling the rolling events. Now, when they conduct the rolling of events, this is already in effect. There's no way to intersect these events. It's going to happen because it's a cause and react. of whatever they did. And this whistleblower has some sort of information, okay? I don't feel like they have some sort of like solid information, but they're intellectual enough and they're free thinking enough that they can kind of like piece everything together, because whatever information they have is like pertinent information, okay? And so like somehow carry some sort of reputation where people would listen to them, and it would make sense that they would have this information. Like whatever information they have and whoever they are would carry enough of a reputation that ears would be perked. People would pay some attention. But what would happen is like what's currently happening, and what the continuation of this is supposed to happen, is like if is misinformation. So it's like information overload and misinformation. So it's like taking confetti and throwing it in the air, exploding it in front of everyone, and on that confetti is information, right? So as long as misinformation, so as long as it sticks to your face, any piece of confetti, it doesn't matter what the misinformation is, as long as you're just misinformed. And so because of all this out there, then they're going to try and flood them out. They're going to flood their information out and then maybe exterminate them. Like they would want to exterminate that person, and exterminate that information. What would motivate, because it's actually up to this particular person. I feel it is a person, but it's like something feels heavy about them, like a physical object, like something physical about something associated with them, like something really, really heavy. And I'm not seeing anything other than like feeling the weight of it. And I feel someone who is like, if they feel younger, they feel like a younger female, and it feels lighter, like they feel lighter. I don't know if this is like their weight, or it's like attached to them, or it's what that symbolizes, but this person feels lighter. Like it feels like they can move a lot faster, or maybe they have like more vantage point, like this person is more free or more available, like physically able to move around, like have more physical freedom, while this person could be like trapped, like weighted by the trapping of the circumstances. I don't know. So then somehow this person is communicated with this other person. So the younger person communicates with the potential whistleblower. I don't feel it's necessarily direct. Like they have the potential to directly communicate, but that it feels like it doesn't necessarily have to happen that way. Like it doesn't have to happen, because somehow they're able to distribute information towards each other, or like they're able to perceive this information from that younger person that would motivate them to whistleblow, and it would change the trajectory of everything, somewhat, because what would happen is, so here's the rolling effect, right? Going up and up and up. It's escalating in severity, right? And the rolling effect is not like it is increasing, but it'll be like increase, die down, increase, die down, increase, die down. And it's different events within these events. So it's a slow increase, minor decrease, more increase, minor decrease. So it's like stress, take away a little bit of the stress, add more stress, take a little bit of the stress. You see what I'm saying? So it's an escalation that cannot be prevented anymore to a certain degree. If the whistleblower comes through, they will intersect up until, we'll say, X. X is unknown. X is the end of this particular stream of events. A whistleblower would come in, actually, technically they would come in somewhere towards here, like towards the tail end, but not quite the end. There would still be more events. And that could actually work against them They would have to basically like hold the faith, and people would just have to listen, and people would have to like pay attention is kind of what I'm getting. Like you would have to really listen and pay attention, dedicate yourself to this, which I think also has to do with no theorizing. Okay, that's me talking to myself, so be quiet to me. Just stick to the information. Okay. So they would have to, what I'm getting is like they would have to speak out, and people would have to pay attention and listen and kind of like hold the faith. They would have to stay steady. They would have to stay steady in what they said, and people have to stay steady in their belief of that, because it would escalate, and people aren't aware of that. Even the whistleblower the whistleblower only knows what the information they have, plus them theorizing, you know, using reasoning and their own intuition to say, hey, I really do know something does not make sense here, something doesn't add up, and this is what I know, and this is what I believe. So it would be it's an enmeshing of their own information and their belief, their intuition. So it would be like a lot of like trust. You would have to have like trust that they, like, you would just have to believe it, right? Like discernment. Okay, so then it would like kind of like heighten, and then everyone would kind of like pay attention to that and look, and then kind of like decide whether they want to scatter or not, like decide whether they're like abandoning this person, the whistleblower, and like engaging in this chaotic feeling, or if they're gonna hold steady and believe, and then know that it can and will end, right? Like the escalation will eventually end, and there will be like a solution in sight. And again, like, I don't know how long this is going. I don't know. It feels like it's already started and it's going to continue, and I don't know the time frame. The numbers that I was getting, it was going 3, 7, 3, 6, 3, 5, 3, 4, and that's where it stopped. Okay, and then I saw X. X feels very loose, like a puff, just X is unknown. Like, you know, when you do mathematics, it's like, what is X? Let's identify X. X feels very unknown. It's very unknown because X depends on all of this, okay? And all of this resulting to X, irregardless of whistleblower or not, still leads up to X. So X is a deciding factor of a range of things, a range of like variances of what can happen. The aim I see is like geared towards the bottom. The center towards the bottom is okay, that's fine. The feeling I'm getting is if it's here, then we can make something of it. If it's the top, it's like absolutely not. The perception that I'm getting this from, the person that I'm embodying, does not feel good. It feels sinister. So the sinister perspective is that they would want, you know, options D through Z, while the sinister options do not want A through C to happen. And X feels like multiples within it. So it's like potentially X is a person, and potentially X is a person and like societal circumstances, and then X is like something to do with all of these events, the increasing events, and like how much it can increase again without causing too much destruction is how it feels, okay? And then a separate vision from this, like it feels separate and like disconnected somehow. Like it feels separate and then disconnected. Whatever that means, right? And it feels like I'm observing, okay, I'll do it like I'm gonna do it, I'll flip it around. Okay, so here I am. I'm this circle, okay? So I drew a line, right? I drew an angle line, and I'm this little circle standing in front of the line. It's angled that way, and it's very, 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 very tall. It looks like, the feeling that I'm getting just by looking at it is it feels like a metal, aluminum, like some sort of like structure. It's almost like the same material, I feel, as like, you know, it's like a subway system, like the metro in Europe that goes like really, really, really fast throughout Europe. It's kind of like that material, but there's no windows. And it almost feels like it could be part of the environment, like wherever I'm at. If I try and look behind me, I feel like if I were there right now, if I could teleport myself there right now, I would be scared. Like wherever I'm at, it feels vast, like extremely vast and extremely like frightening, because I would not be in like an area that would be familiar to me, and I would be in an area where like I would 100% get lost, right? It's unsurvivable for me, and I would be out in the elements is kind of how it feels. And it feels very dark, like black, kind of not black, but like gray, like the darkest gray you can get towards the spectrum of black, okay? But it's not black. And then when and this seems like cream colored, like it almost seems cream colored, but I don't know, like I would not, don't quote me on that, I don't know. But when I touch it, it's ice cold, like ice cold. And it sends chills like throughout my entire body of how cold it is. And then I get like this, it's like this vision, like within the vision, it's like I have a memory, right? And it like brings me back into a memory of getting, it feels like the memory is of me getting a shot. And the shot, when I get the shot, first of all, I'm being like forced. It's like a forced shot. And I'm like trying to push back. So it's like a tent. It could potentially be a tent or it's a building. Either way, the reason I say it's tent is because it feels like there's like fog, like a light gray fog in the back behind it, and it's a white place, and then the people are trying to like inject me, and they look like they're medical professional, and they're trying to inject me, and I'm pushing them. I'm like forcing them off, and I'm very upset. Like I do not want to be injected. And the shot, it feels very cold running through me, like all the way into like the veins of my fingertips. It brings me to the awareness that I even have veins within every like being part of my being, right? All the way into my nails. Like I could just feel my nails, like I just want to press down on them because it just feels like uncomfortable and chilling to feel whatever I'm being injected with just course through me. And then I can feel it like reach to my brain. It like reaches to my brain, and it's like icy. It's just ice cold, and it kind of like gives me like a chill headache. And so that like triggers me, like touching this triggers me to that memory. Okay? And I don't know if it's because of how cold it is or what it is, but it just triggers me into that. And if I look, like if I perceive below this, like if I'm standing there, I can't see this, but psychically, if I perceive below this, there's a bunch of like people. There's a bunch of people down there, and they're just going about their business. It's almost as if they're like celebrating, but like there's a gathering of people, and they're just kind of doing their own thing, and they're all supposed to be there for like, it would be like the Grammys, you know, like, or like, I don't know what it would be like I don't know if they have pre-Grammys where celebrities just kind of like associate with each other. So they all know that they're going to be there, and they're not really particularly excited because it's just like whatever, you know, but it's pleasant. Like they're exchanging pleasantries. They're happy to, I don't know if they're necessarily happy to be there. Like energetically, it feels very dull. So to me, that's satanic or like evil. Like energetically, if it's dull, it is not divine, right? Because we're high vibrational. So being dull is very, 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 very low. So this is like dull, very, very, very dull, but they're enjoying themselves, right? I can hear like clanking of glasses. I can hear like a crash and then like people laughing about it. And like they seem unbothered. They seem very unbothered. So that's my vision, and that's where I'm going to stop there. No theorizing in this video of what that is and what's to come and how long this is. Just wanted to get this out there, and then if I have, you know, if I want to talk about it later, then I'll open up to that, okay? So thanks guys, hope this helps.